So they'll be calling you a radical, all hands on deck. So don't you love what they turned the internet into? Regurgitating fucking goats. All these fuckers all over these YouTube sites, whatever, have 300,000-400,000. All they do is take mainstream or find some freaking article and they just spin it, regurgitating. I mean, it's pathetic. It's such an authentic grassroots, the root activist genre that they've destroyed. I mean, that's all they do. I mean, these people go, fuck, I can go off on them all. It's pathetic. Sit around and just analysis of the analysis, regurgitating goats. So, as far as the mainstream contemporaneous fucking narrative that's out there on the nuclear and this nightmare hurricane, let me get a little deeper, so some breaking stuff too. It's just not, we know a little bit about a lot, which is pathetic. So, Savannah River, Savannah River, Savannah River, all hands on deck. Savannah River, what the fuck is that? This Savannah River nightmare, the Tower to Babylon, which 99.999% of you don't even know what the fuck it is. So it was a fairy tale. In the 90s, they came with AREVA, the Francis, bankrupt fucking Chicago Bridge and Iron, Westinghouse's fucking derivative fucking bastard child. God, look at the smog, the dry lake effect that no one gives a fuck. Too busy in their fucking shiny coffins, hypnotized. Orwell couldn't dream this fucking up in this fucking economy, the United States economy, which is nothing more than a fucking Ponzi scheme. The United States economy is a Ponzi scheme. So, hear me. $455 million they got the lie through. $29 billion they're into this half-built Tower to Babylon. MOX fuel, what's that? Oh, they never did it. Oh, there's all kinds of MOX fuel there. So last year, what didn't blow up in the Unit 3, 5, and 6 at Fukushima, Japan, into the jet stream and annihilate here, the United States of usury, the jet stream moves left to right. They brought back with guarded freaking United States aircraft carriers. Back to where? Savannah River, South Carolina. You got so much MOX fuel sitting there. Is it in dry cast containers? That's a very good fucking question, because they lie so fucking much we can't believe it. Now listen to me, hear me out. This is a nightmare. This thing's gonna park right over the top of the Tower to Babylon, and it's gonna fucking dump for 30 inches of fucking rain. Mudslide, this is a fucking catastrophe. TikTok, this fucking nightmare called nuclear waste that we have perpetuated, this fucking horrific lie called nuclear fucking air. Clean, green, too cheap to fucking meter. Fucking biggest lie in human fucking history, bar none. The second biggest lie, science fiction, Ayn Rand Greenspan. The fucking, I love this fucking narrative they have out there. The unemployment rate, the lowest in fucking, that's a total fucking lie. You do know they changed. You do know they changed the way they count unemployment. You have to actively be seeking unemployment, be counted. Ha! Fucking, they just took everybody off. It's called the participation rate. Look it up. The participation rate's in a free fall nightmare. Now hear me. This United States economy is a fucking Ponzi scheme. I like that, oh, under Obama. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's Congress. You still caught up in presidential. Well, I'm blown away. Obama, Trump, but I mean, you still, after all the Obamacan shit, the best money a fucking corporatist fucking whore could buy, fucking Trump, the fucking counterculturist, on his fucking, if you think Trump is not a fraud, he ran against the Bush cartel, right? Bush. The handpicked, the guy who orchestrated the theft of the election in 2000. The Bush's #1 favorite guy is Kavanaugh, the Supreme Court Justice. Think about that. I thought he was, you still think this is fucking left-right. This is bled fucking, those two fucking whores pyramid have bled to a fucking purple fucking dark blood fucking corporatist whoredom. I mean, they've got this populace going to work at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, in their debtors' hell in their Ponzi scheme. You've seen the debt? Student debt, personal fucking debt, the housing fucking crisis. Fucking, it's the ecology, stupid. The greatest ecological catastrophe in human history is ongoing through the Western, well, the world. Oh, it's just coincidence post-Fukushima. Tide pools are all dead in California. The Pacific Ocean is in absolute free-fall collapse. The salmon are proven. Emergency closing of the fucking salmon fishing on peak week. On the climb. Oh, that's no big deal. Tide pool's fucking dead. The biggest fucking, the birth of all fucking living things. The Pacific Ocean is in the Great Pacific Genocide. Kevin Blanch. Look at the fucking Dust Bowl out here. And they're so Orwellian hypnotized. God's will, bro. Tim shall thou mayest. What's that? Fuck, men are responsible for their actions. The MOX fuel fairy tale is going to take a hit from hell. The worst of the worst of stories. In dry cask containers? Nobody fucking knows because it's fucking big secret. Now I know for a fact I'm the guy that broke this. From a trucker called me a long time ago and he says, hey, they're secretly trucking it from Savannah River to WIP in New Mexico. I'm the first guy that broke the news that they fucking WIP blew up the container that was made right here. Everybody else takes credit for that. Oh no. I break all this fucking stories. Just like Fukushima's I mean, it took me a year and a half to convince anybody that Fukushima was even one fucking meltdown. Reporting it from the very beginning to a fucking... They started dumping into the Pacific Ocean on 4/3 fucking 2011. I reported, going crazy. Predicted all this fucking Cassandra-like, and nobody wants to say, oh, he uses the word fuck. You think? You think? So this activism, you got me. I'm telling you, you got me. I ain't gonna quit you. I ain't gonna quit you. No, I ain't gonna quit you. Then you always quit me because you're either Obamacan or you're Trumpet because fucking Orwell fucking called it to a T. You are branded. There is no two teams. There are no two teams. This is the same team, and they're down 868 to 0, and it's the 2-minute fucking warning, and they refuse to yield to get off the fucking field. Fucking let the freshmen take over. It's a nightmare. Fucking this Ponzi scheme called the United States economy is a fucking debtor's fucking hell. Fucking it's a suicide rap. It's a death fucking trap. It's the ecology, stupid. The MOX fuel fucking at Savannah River is in fucking peril. The D.O.E. Can they handle this? Well, this is going to be unforeseen in the last post-nuclearism era. I mean, post-1930s. This is going to be catastrophic. Now, what do? Now, hear me. This is real important. By law, they can fucking dump. By law, they can fucking flush. Reuters reports fucking nuclear energy getting ready for Florence. It should read nuclear energy getting ready to flush Florence. They love this stuff. This gives them an excuse to fucking wash out their spent fuel pools, to dump waste into the ocean. What are you going to do with all that waste? By the way, that nightmare that in the middle of the night they took the waste from Shellfield and just put it off the coast of fucking Wells and dumped it in. I'm here to tell you, you got no Greenpeace, you got no Sierra Club, you got fuck Hill of Utah. These panty painter pieces of fucking shit, they're the problem. I'm old enough to remember in the fucking 60s and 70s when we fucking were in tents. And we fucking kicked their ass at the grassroots fuck. So the media out there and what you're getting, all we hear is radio goo-goo, radio gaga, the analysis of the analysis, not me. Kevin Blanch, I am the fucking root of the crowd. This has to go on. I need some real funding. I need some real fucking people behind me. And thank you to the people that have funded this historic fucking work. You know, you got me. I'm telling you, you got me. And Dana up there, he does great work. I love his classroom. I think he needs to stay in that classroom. I mean, we've documented enough on those dead tide pools. What more can we show you, fanny fucking adults? I mean, the hypnotized. We're recording history at this point, and we're getting some fucking wins. I mean, I'm tactical. I know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm fucking very tactical. I run this on a shoestring, but thank you to everybody who supported this historic work. I ain't gonna quit you. I ain't gonna quit you. Well, I really ain't gonna quit you. I'm in this to win it to the fucking end. Stay tuned.